Smile Chopra. Vinny, welcome back.
Hi there, brother. Good morning. Good morning, everybody. This is Vinny here in Bay Area, Black Hawk, California, near San Francisco. Brother Walter is there in Tampa, right there, the beautiful place in Florida. And actually, I've been in a mediation this morning from 7 o'clock, and we just took the time out to, get out and do this show together, which I love to do this. And no, thank you.
Yeah, we had to adjust, Vinny. Right? You're out there solving problems for the company and making sure everything's running smooth. So, any
Yeah,
adjustments we have to make, Alchemist Nation understands that you are a
thanks.
busy guy. So,
Thank
but
you.
it does remind me that Dorina sent me a picture today of your new book. So your new book is coming
Yes.
out, and we are going to talk about Wealth Principle 47, the law of hyper focus. But before we do, I want to talk about the book that's coming out, and I got a picture of it now. So I saw this on
Oh,
Facebook,
thank
and I want to share
ah,
everybody. So, Senior Living Investing Made Easy by Vinny Chopra should be. We're doing a launch party at the 100 Millionaire Summit this year. So, you will
yeah.
be able to see, feel the book, get it signed by the actual author. Vinny,
Yes.
anything you want to share about this book that, like, why should somebody who's looking to invest right now learn about residential assisted living?
Sure, sure. Walter, again, it took me 2 years, 2.5 years to write this book. I hope lots of good information is in this, and it's gone back and forth with a lot of editors and cutting and adding and cutting and adding and everything. Yeah, I feel like it's a really good book in talking about silver tsunami. The What's happening is 10,000 baby boomers are turning 65 every night, and then 4,070 and 3,080, 85. And this country, we're going to need so much help in senior housing. So it talks about the myths and the facts. It gives graphs, it gives all these different things, how we've been able to bring about the best of the best, in senior housing, which is a big need. So I've been in the multifamily, as you know, in the multifamily a lot, where the workforce housing, we call it. But then at the same token, this is now in the serene locations. I'll just move over here a little bit. Maybe it's because of my internet is close to it. I'm in my backyard. I'm not walking because the other side is and my laptop is on. But let's go. Yeah. So this is where Silver Tsunami seniors want to retire in nice locations and near to hospital, near to their grandchildren, things like that. So this is a great book. I hope you will. A lot of our audiences will really find a lot of good things in it, and how do they enter into it. If you want to invest passively, I put two chapters very nicely, kind of sharing my whole game plans and everything, which I've been doing for the last four years. So that's
So,
one book.
So
Yeah.
for everybody who's listening right now and thinking about real estate investing, thinking about how do I level up, so you're aware, Vinny has at his peak right now currently $1.8 billion of multifamily assets under management, something that you own and take care of. Also, he's in the residential assisted living space and the hospitality space. If you're not familiar with what that means hotels. Like he's buying, and not like little rinky dink hotels. We're talking Marriott's and really powerful like brands. So, Vinny, as we're going into hyper focus, I want to talk a little bit about what we're going to do in this conversation. Basically, we're going to be unraveling the secrets of focusing on the crucial aspects of real estate investing and life that can lead to incredible transformations. Because the law of hyper focus, Wealth Principle 47, declares that where your attention goes, energy
Yeah.
flows and results show. So, your results, your success, the wealth that you have, and the fame that you have in this space. By the way, everywhere I go, if I say, "Oh yeah, have you spoken to Vinny Chopra? He's taught me this." Instantly, they know who he is in the
Ah,
syndication space, in the space, because you've
ah,
built a lot of syndicators. You taught a lot of people this strategy. So,
thank
um,
you.
it's an honor to have you at the summit. Two, what is it you focus on? You talk a lot about your North Star, but in business, how do you identify like what to spend your time on every day? Like this mediation you're spending in right now, how did it get your attention? Like, and how do you
Most
present yourself?
most important for any CEO of one company or many, many companies is to make sure your people that you are hiring are the right people, that they're able to do lots and lots of work. and you're able to get the crust of the things. So what I had to do was to really understand the whole summaries for today beforehand. So yesterday I read through 5, 10, 15 pages, but it was hundreds of pages before that. So the key thing is for any kind of person, solopreneur, entrepreneur, or with bigger companies, you got to focus on what's important right now. What's important today? You got to focus with intensity, with total focus and efficiency, I think is the other word I would say, because you want to win. You want to make sure that you're taking care of the decision making, if it's with a contractor or it's with a resident or it's with investor who is angry, whatever it is. You got to find all the different things from their perspective, what they're talking about, and then you understanding to find the right solution for it. So the reason I say that is intentional, and it's also focused, which is hyper focus. Just like the word hyper, that means you got to not just take it easily. You got to totally hyper focus, which means double, triple, quadruple efforts needs to go in, time and energy, everything to find the solution to whatever you're trying to do.
I like this for everybody, entrepreneur and real estate investor who's thinking about, well, what is this word hyper and why is focus so intertwined with a billionaire and somebody who's a multimillionaire? Why are we talking about this? It's really because just like when you hyper extend a muscle, your muscle's going further than it normally would. When you hyper extend your time or you hyper extend your attention, you're going to get different results because you're going deeper into a space that you normally wouldn't have. Like normal resistance would have held you back. So this power, this ability to hyper focus is something that top level CEOs have, and they only hyper focus on top tasks. And it's because of the amount of leverage required at that level. So Vinny, you gave a secret just now that I want to go back to. So if you as an entrepreneur are listening to this right now and Vinny's giving you this wisdom and you're not sure how it applies, think about a time where you were super busy, but you weren't making money. Or think about a time where the money just didn't seem to be connecting with the output. Like something just wasn't working. Like you were jamming hard and you couldn't figure out why customer complaints were going up, but customer income wasn't. Like the customers just, it wasn't tying in. Vinny said, it's about your hiring. It really is about your people. It's about the quality of your people. It's about the hiring. If your sales aren't there, hire better salespeople. If your production isn't working the way it's supposed to be, you have to hire better production. And as you scale, it becomes managers. So you're now at the stage of managers who manage managers, Vinny. So how do you stay hyper focused on a company with hundreds of different people who are involved? Like even your RALs, it's like 300-400.
Yes. I mean, the key thing is you got to look at the KPIs. I know one of the episodes we did, key performance indicators are the key to success of any business. If we don't know the KPIs of our business, then we need to look at it weekly basis. I don't think daily is with all the people in the front line, but weekly we should be looking at those KPIs to make sure that the marketing is right. Make sure that, our occupancies, those are huge things. Delinquency is lower. Accounts receivable. And we need to look at the P&Ls. Many times, entrepreneurs, solopreneurs, they are so involved in so many things that they miss the financials. And that's where the demise of the business comes in. If the financials are not looked at, the income, expenses, line items, everything, that is the key to success of any business. Making sure all the efforts of yours and your teams are bringing profits at the bottom line. If it didn't come that week or month, then next month needs to change. Some things need to change. We cannot have companies survive with negative. We got to take action. Again, it all comes down to how many investors are into, if, like in my case, syndication case, right? We got to look at our investor space. We need to cultivate. We need to, Thanksgiving is coming, so we got to get ready for the gifts that we sent from Harry and David. We got to make sure that every whether it's $100,000 investor or $5 million investor, we need to make sure they're happy. Whatever they're asking, we are giving to them, all those things. So essentially, it's the KPIs and the ratios is another thing I talk a lot about, because you want to make sure you're using cutting edge softwares and programs to manage the assets. In my case, commercial real estate, it's not when you buy the property. It's not. We do a lot of assumptions. We do all these conservative assumptions. Then the market falls out, COVID comes, and interest rates hikes right now. I mean, there's so much trouble in the market right now. Look at the stock market. It's up today. It was down yesterday. I mean, it's all those things. But the big thing is we need to make sure that we are chartering the waters. I don't know if that's the right word. The thing is, I had to sell this property and I'm in the process of selling it now. I could give you an example.
Yeah, if we can dive into it. I know everybody loves your deals.
Love to. In Tennessee, we bought the property 2 years back, and we knew that the interest rates might be hiking, and it was a variable rate. I don't buy variable rates. I don't. This is the only one out of 36 assets I bought. And it started climbing. Oh my gosh. My mortgage went from $35,000 to $72,000 a month.
It doubled every month.
Doubled every month. It was going up. 42, 50, this, 60. Then I got into hyper focus, if I may say that, in 2022, I remember October. And I talked to my lender and I said, hey, we need to get a fixed loan. We got to get a fixed loan, and it took us 6 months to really go through all the tribulations, everything. And we locked in from 8.96% to 5.61% this April, 2023, I'm talking about right now. And that is what needed to happen, because otherwise I wouldn't be able to sell this property to a new buyer. But I made sure it's a 10-year fixed loan and made sure that it's assumable. So that is the key to success. By being hyper-focused, you're able to look at ins and outs. You can deal with attorneys, you can deal with brokers, you can deal with Freddie, Fannie, CMBS, whatever loan, variable loan we had, all those things, and making sure that we are driving the rent every month, making sure that we have the P&Ls ready and showing the increasing rate of our collections, all those things, right? Delinquency being zero. At this property, we are 99% occupied anyway, but we drove the rents to the hilt. And, luckily now we have a buyer, and so forth. But the key thing was hyper focus was the reason why we were able to get that 5.61% loan.
And it's a beautiful story, Vinny, because you hyper-focused on the loan itself, which a lot of people will think the loan is nothing in this. We need in the high interest rates, and everybody thinks that it's impossible to get a better quality rate. How did you manage to pull that off with the bank?
Well, to be very truthful, again, it's getting the right loan broker involved. Yeah. I want to give accolade to my brothers, Meridian Capital. And, I usually don't say a lot of my circle of, but I would love to say to Mark Krupina. Mark, brother, if you're listening to this, kudos to you, because he had the patience and his company and everything to work with me, day in, day out, and every week and so forth, and looking through all the angles and making sure that we're able to close the loan at a fixed rate, which he and I talked about in October of 2022. Wow. And we got the loan 6 months later. We closed on it like in April of this year or March of this year, something like that, 2023. So you got to have the right partners. You got to have the vision, what you want. You need to solve the problem. The problem was humongous in our company, in that asset, because we didn't have cash flow to give to investors.
Right.
I mean, it just dried up when the all these interest rates went up. I mean, and then all the cash flow went into mortgage, which is what a lot of people are looking at right now
It's
because
happening
they
all
have
over the country.
all over the country, big times.
So
Big,
if you
big.
were to give a message to syndicators right now who are struggling, Vinny, because we see the foreclosures happening in Houston, if you were to give a message like directly to the syndicators who are operating, the interest rates are coming up or their term on their loans are coming up. I know we have to jump off because you got to get back, but if you could send a message to those guys and gals who are running, a lot of investors' money, they're not able to pay their investors. Maybe some of them are not even communicating with their investors, which is very scary. That's how the SEC gets involved. What message would you send to somebody right now who's struggling? And yeah.
Love to, love to. Again, I am so sorry that people are in that dilemma right now. And these are in the last 2 years, I would say, where it was seller's market and a lot of people bought on bridge loans and things like that, which assumptions they did on increasing the rents or value add. And they did increase the value add, but now those notes are coming due and they will not be refinanceable. So you have to really look at and talk to your investor base heart to heart, doing web meetings and all, to see if they could come up with some extra money to invest into that to save their previous investment. Talking to the lender is a big thing, definitely, because you want to really be open, and they know it too. Because banks are not they're not experts in managing these big assets. They are not. They cannot have them on their books. So having some repatriate or adjustment of the loans, or if there is interest and pay down of the principal, maybe taking that principal towards the end, or doing some special creative ways to save your day. I say that, and then maybe able to get some more investors' money into it, because if you write the system, you might be able to come out on the other side better. And actually, as a matter of fact, we are thinking, I didn't know if I mentioned to you or my other partner in the other show, Vinny and Bo's show, we are thinking about maybe even injecting some capital on to some other, syndicators who may not find capital, where we come in right after the bank and then get a little piece of the pie to save the day for them. So we are still considering all those options. But there are several ways. When these kind of calamities come, we need to get hyper-focused and look at all the options. That's the real entrepreneur and CEO, to look at and get everybody involved and make sure that we find a better solution, rather than going auctioning or foreclosures and things like that.
Perfect. So for every investor out there who, whether you're struggling or somebody who's struggling, Vinny has a website. It's vinnychopra.com. You can go there, hit the contact button, and send a message. If you've got a property that you're not sure how to solve the problems that you're going through, send Vinny a message, and let's see if he's busy. He's got a lot going on, but if there's something him or his team can do, maybe they'll be able to work you through it. So we are going to jump. The summit is November 3rd to the 5th. Vinny Chopra will be there live. For our VIPs, we'll be hanging out with you on November 2nd. We've got our VIP day. We're going to be going through a training. And then afterwards, we're going to be going and we're actually going to hang out with Vinny. We're going to eat dinner together at a big, long table. And it's going to be a blast. So for everybody who's coming to the summit, cheers to your success. Send Vinny blessings and drop in the chat. What is the biggest lesson Vinny has ever given you in all the videos we've done? Just drop it in the chat. He follows these later on. So Vinny, thank you so much for everything you do for us in Alchemist Nation. For everybody at home, cheers to your success. You have a choice. Always work with the best. We'll see you on the next.
See you next Thursday. Thank you.
9 a.m. PST, 12 p.m. EST.
EST, and the books will be there, and I'll be signing them and taking pictures and everything. My publisher is also going to be there, and his wife, Carolyn. And I was going to say that, that's one book we shared. Maybe next week we could share my revised edition, second edition of The Positivity Brings Profitability, which is also out now. And I'll be able to bring that picture also, and we could show that to the audiences and followers. Thank you so much. God bless you all. Make today the best day. Have the hyper focus, everything that you're doing today, and get involved. Be in the present. See, that's the key. Don't worry about what you had appointment before or what is going to come in the next hour. We need to be really present in the hour we are in. I say that all the time. Stay present and stay active and enjoy the process. Yeah. Thank you.